Hello and welcome to the program. My name is Marie Yambo. Our social media handles at Marie Yambo, at KBC Channel 1 on Twitter. On Facebook, it's KBC Channel 1 TV, and you can also catch us on YouTube for this particular program. Now, thank you very much for making the time for us today. Well, women who eat healthily before and during pregnancy may cut the risk of their baby developing health problems, according to research. The body of a woman goes through lots of physical and hormonal changes during pregnancy, and the food you eat is your baby's main source of nourishment, so it's critical to get all the nutrients you need. Well, Momo Stones again is with us to talk about matters of nutrition that is before pregnancy, during pregnancy, and even after pregnancy. He will also be demystifying some of the myths related to what we eat during pregnancy. Thank you very much for being in the studio once again.
Thanks a lot. Thanks a
lot. So Momo, first things first. Yes. Why is it important for a woman to, plan their meals or eat healthy before pregnancy?
Yes. First of all, thanks a lot for inviting me. A nice question. So it is very important for a mother who is preparing to get pregnant to feed on the right foods, because let me give you an example, like if you start preparing yourself to get a baby and maybe you are obese, there are health implications which come to the mother and to the child. If someone is obese, is more susceptible to get non-communicable diseases, hypertension, preeclampsia, gestational diabetes. It can as well cross over to the child, or whenever time you begin having the gestational diabetes, it might not go off like after. It cannot be reversed. It can just move on like the way it is. You see. So before you are not pregnant, or you're preparing to get pregnant, you are not having diabetes. But as you got pregnant, because of this underlying issue of being obese or overweight, it can spring up to make you have diabetic.
Okay.
Yeah.
So what you're saying is,
yes,
before a lady or a woman decides to get pregnant,
yes,
if that's what they want to do,
yes,
then the issue of weight,
yes,
becomes something that you need to pay attention to.
It is an issue.
And that means you need to cut on weight? It is true.
It is true. There is the specific weight you should be having. That's why we normally have BMI. BMI is the body mass index. It is the percentage of the mass you have in relationship to the body stature.
Yes.
How tall you are, there is a specific mass you should be having. So if it goes over, it is overweight or it is obese. If it is under, there is an issue too. Because if it is under 2, it will affect the baby, because it means that you're not having enough nutrients to supply to the baby. Yeah, and you're not ready to get that particular baby. When you're obese, sometimes you might not even conceive because of issues about hormones, because maybe you're having a lot of fat. You see, it is having some implications on the process of getting pregnant. When you're underage, there's also a problem with that, because maybe you're getting pregnant when your weight is below. Yeah, is low.
Okay.
Yeah.
So we'll delve into all that, and
yes,
it all boils down to the type of diet that you're supposed to take.
It is true.
So here is somebody who has decided this is what they want.
Yes.
They're now pregnant.
Yes.
How important is it for them to now eat healthy?
Now the person has already decided not to get pregnant.
Yes.
Now
during pregnancy.
Yeah, during pregnancy. No.
Yes.
Now already the person has conceived. Yeah.
Yes.
When the person has conceived, there are many physiological changes which happens. The way you have said it. There is the growth of the baby.
Yes.
There is the growth of the placenta where the child will be feeding from. So these are things which are happening. They are physiological functions which are happening to the mother, which she had not been having, you see. So there's a lot of hormonal changes. Yeah, there is an increment of mass, of water, the amniotic fluid, amniotic sac. All these particular things need proteins for them to be, because we need protein for tissue development. So you should get proteins in the best way. We normally have plant proteins and we normally have animal proteins. So we normally advise people to get both proteins from both sources.
Okay.
The amino acids you get from animal protein, they are very different from the plant protein. So if you don't mix them, there's something you're going to lose, and you'll be having some implication in your development, the development of your baby.
Okay.
Yes, yes.
So when you're talking about plant proteins, maybe you can give us examples of the kind of foods that we can eat that have proteins in them. Obviously, we know where to get proteins when it comes to meats and the rest, but you can still give us examples of foods.
Yeah, plant protein, we normally call them legumes. I know most of the people normally say is nataka kula cereals. Cereals is more of energy-giving foods like maize, but now here we talk of legumes. Legumes are the ones to give us proteins, but as plant source. An example is beans, peas, we call them dengu, green grams. There's lentils, kamande. There are what others? There's njahi. Those are now legumes which can give proteins, but from there's soya. Soya is a very good example of a good protein. So these are the kind of plant protein sources which you can get this particular type of protein which you are saying.
Okay.
Yes.
So apart from proteins, which are other nutrients which are really important to the mother and even the growth of the child?
Yeah. Two, we normally say we normally classify them like there is energy yielding foods. Energy yielding foods are normally put like fats, carbohydrates and proteins. Proteins too have energy. We need energy because there's a lot of activities happening in this person. There is excretion of the toxins. There is feeding the baby. There is the person must be walking. He's really doing the normal chores the person is doing. The baby is developing. And a chair bado in the womb. You see, so there's a lot of activity. So this person needs more energy. More energy comes from those particular. There is also what we call micro and macronutrients. These are like vitamins and minerals, you see. So vitamins are good because we need them for protection. Antioxidants, they put maybe some sicknesses away. They normally raise the immune system, that which is a good thing at that particular time, because you don't expect someone to be sick at that particular stage of life. Because when you get sick, you don't feed, the baby don't feed too, you see. Other thing is minerals. Minerals are good because of the bone development, like calcium, folic. You need iron for the iron. There's a lot of iron which is needed for the baby and for the mother too. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, and when you talk about calcium, this is something that I'm sure a lot of women grapple with, especially during pregnancy.
It is true.
Maybe you can just touch on what the role of calcium is,
it is true.
And the deficiency in itself, what it can cause.
Yeah, calcium is a good mineral. It's a mineral which its role is, most of it is bone development and bone density. It goes with phosphorus, calcium. So most of the times you find that ladies at that particular time, you can find them having some issues about breakages, complaining about joints, maybe because someone is huge and is straining on the weight. It feels like when he was walking, the bones are a little bit brittle. That is the function of calcium. And two, it has a function when the child is developing. The child too has bones to develop. So if you're not having enough calcium, the child normally gets the first priority is given to the child. So he normally squeezes out all the calcium you have. You find that it's like you're being left without any calcium. So you find that whenever you're walking, it's very easy for you to get bone breakages because all the calcium has been absorbed because the child has to, because that is the first priority. So if you don't have it well or you don't have it adequately, it's a problem. Yeah.
Okay, so calcium intake is very, very important.
It is very important.
There is also the issue of supplements that somebody is supposed to take.
It is true.
During pregnancy. Maybe you can just talk about it, like why is it so important? Because if I'm eating my healthy food, really, my sukuma wiki, my ugali, I'm taking my proteins maybe from meats and my fish, which is actually good for calcium.
It is true.
Then why should I actually take supplements?
So it's a nice question, Marie. So supplements, the way they are being, the way implying them, supplements are to supplement on the normal food, on the normal ration, the normal functional food. There's an example like whenever time we are doing our skuma, or we are doing our kales or spinach or these green leafy vegetables. If you take these particular green leafy vegetables, you take it from to a mboga, those mamas, you see, they normally will cut them small because that is what we want. When you cut this particular spinach, it is flammable. The nutrients are very much flammable. They normally goes with hair. So the more you cut them smaller, the more you increase the surface area, and the more they normally go with hair. The same thing, they come in and they start washing them. They wash them like they're washing clothes. So the green part is what we want. That's the antioxidant. That's the green component. That's the pigment which we need, and that's what has all these particular nutrients which we need. So if you wash it away. You come back, you cook it, and you overcook it. You overcook it, it changes the color. It becomes something brownish. If it becomes brownish, it means now you're not taking it like vitamins. Now it becomes a roughage. So it is not playing the part of vitamin. So you're not having vitamin. So that's why maybe the government have seen there are this particular small issues which comes in, like how you're preparing it. They brought a policy like now we need to be giving this particular mothers supplements because they might be a loophole which comes in. And most of the times you find that they're not accessible. They are not accessible. So it comes in like to supplement all the. But if the issue of cooking and preparing is like that, definitely people will need supplements.
So are you saying that we should stop cutting our green?
Most of the times you don't cut them. If you take a spinach and you do it just like that, you can just do it as you are eating it. You're having it, and don't overcook it. Just make it, stew it a little bit. Yeah, you find that it is having that green matter. You see. Yeah.
So folic acid is also one of the very important nutrients.
It is true.
For pregnant women, and not just for the pregnant women, especially for the unborn child.
Yes, it is true.
So maybe you could talk to us about what is folic acid, or some of the foods that we can get it from.
Yes.
And
Folic
the lack of it.
Yeah, sure. Nice question. Folic acid is the main purpose of folic acid is the neural spine development, like the vertebral columns. That's why you normally find a child is born but he's having a bifida, something like the spinal cord does not develop the way it should develop. You see, so that is a result of lack of folic acid. The spina bifida. You are right. That's the reason as to why you are having some cases like this one, because the mother didn't have that particular nutrient. And that's a problem, because not every mother wants to have a healthy child. So if you're not given the knowledge of the need of having folic, and folic comes in from these green leafy vegetables I'm telling you. That's why the government has put it like we should have the supplement for folic acid, because if the preparation is like this, sometimes you find that it is very hard for the mother even to get the leafy vegetables. Maybe the access is not there, because these are fresh things. The transportation to the mother to access them, it might be difficult. So that's why now the supplements comes in, which is very much important, and it has really helped for since the past 10 years, it has really helped a lot.
So taking folic acid, that's a very important, nutrient for mothers. And definitely, like you've put it, we're not getting enough of folic acid, even in our normal foods. So the need for supplements. And what about if somebody says, like, you know what, I'm taking supplements, so I don't need to eat to have like a, the normal diet. You can actually replace the supplements or replace the food with the supplements. How does that go?
That one is a no, because supplements what you've not taken. Like, for example, we might be in need of folic acid, let's say 100%, and maybe the mother has not gotten the 100%. That is the threshold you are giving it. If the mother has not gotten the 100%, maybe he has gotten like 60 or 50 halfway. Maybe he has gotten some wild fruits. I've gotten some wild fruits. I've taken some. I've gotten some folic acid in it. But now there is this threshold which we need for it not to be enough to cater for the mother and for the child. You see, that's why now you normally give a supplement. But now you cannot give the supplement alone. so that it can work as food. It cannot work that way. You supplement of what already you have taken. Yeah.
And you've talked about folic acid being able to prevent spina bifida.
It is true.
What are other health conditions that a baby may develop as a result of the mother not eating healthy during pregnancy?
It is true, yeah. If a mother is not getting enough calcium, that's another problem, because it means that as the child starts from that early age, because most of the times we find that the child gets most of the calcium from breast milk. I think I've gone ahead. You see, so it means that if the baby was the time for conception, he has not been getting enough calcium. He will be born without enough calcium. There'll be a deficit. So it means that the bone development has started being affected from that early part. So as he is born, he starts from a low threshold. So by the time he catches up, it might take some time. And the children normally thrive very quickly. So it might be a problem. You see, so it is a problem which is coming from the mother now to the child. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the issue of slow development will come in as a result of poor nutrition.
It is true.
During pregnancy.
Yes.
Now, what are some of the foods that are a no-no?
A no-no.
Yes. Or what is it that you should never take when you're expectant?
Yeah, definitely intoxicants, things like alcohol, smokes, any kind of nicotine. You see, because nicotine is normally gets into the system. It's a it is called blood-brain. It passes the blood-brain barrier. It goes past the membranes which separates the bad things from the child. But alcohol normally gets into the system very quickly. It can permeate to the child's system. So that's why we normally say you don't have to take it, because if you take it, definitely we know that it is going to the child.
But what about the implications on the mother also?
It is a problem, because it means that whenever time the space or the volume where the food could be getting in, it is being replaced by the nicotine or the antioxidant, what is it called? Those particular alcohol, those particular things.
Definitely it's a cause of low birth weight?
It is true, because even the development will be affected. If someone gets drunk and he sleeps, he fails to feed, when you come out, you are not, even the normal person, the normal mother, when he keeps on just taking alcohol, he's not feeding well, some implications happen. Now imagine how it is happening when you're having a child with you. It is a problem.
Okay.
The child development is very much affected. Yes.
Okay, and then living in an African country, we've been told what to eat, what not to eat when you're pregnant. Maybe you could talk to us some of the myths and misconceptions in as far as diet and pregnancy is concerned.
It is true. I can start with earlier on I said something about soil. Soil, we have said it is a deficiency of calcium and iron. When you find that you want to feed on, you have the urge of taking soil. That is one. That is a good thing. You should seek.
So the minute somebody is actually,
if you feel like you have that urge to take stones and do soil, it means you are lacking calcium and iron.
Okay.
Yeah, outrightly. You see, there's this issue about people taking eggs. Eggs are good sources of proteins. Yeah. People normally say that you should not take a lot of eggs because the child will be big, you won't be able to push the child at the time of birth, you see.
Or you'll actually give birth to a child
you see, bald-headed, those particular things, you see. Those are just myths. You should take things, but in moderation. The way I've said that you should alternate animal proteins and plant proteins, not taking like eggs all through. Egg, one thing people have to know is it normally has a lot of cholesterol in it. And cholesterol, we know how it goes. It goes on with issues about hypertension, pregnancy hypertension, eclampsia, you see. So people should take it in moderation. Another thing we normally say that people should take liver because it is a good source of iron. It is true too, but you know that liver plays a very vital role. It's where the cholesterol is synthesized. So it normally carries a lot of cholesterol too. So people should take it even in moderation. Should prefer taking, if it is liver, take twice in a 7-day week. In between, you can supplement with other sources of iron if you need iron. There are many, all the organ meats, the heart, the kidneys normally provide iron. They are called organ meats. or offals.
Yes.
They provide you the iron which you need. Not necessarily you should get it from the liver.
Okay.
See, yeah. Issues about calcium. Calcium can be gotten from. It is gotten from milk, soups, and soups are the soups for bone soups. The more you eat meat which is in a close proximity with the bone, the more you get a lot of calcium. So most of the times that you find that people are being told take kichwa ya mbuzi, those type. If you get soups from those particular parts of the animal part.
Okay.
Yeah.
Because just like you're putting it, you know, there's some foods which you're told not to eat.
Yes.
As a pregnant
Yeah, it's
woman.
a no-no. Yeah.
You know,
yeah.
so
yeah.
the offals, what you're saying is.
Yeah.
People should actually take them.
They should take them. They should take
these
them.
are just misconceptions.
They are the misconception that eggs are bad. You can, if that egg is what is available and there's no any other protein, what will you do? And because the maybe aspects of religion or any social settings have been saying, or the clanners say that these are bad food, this food meant for fathers alone, and that is the only source of protein which you need. And this person is having a child which is growing. You see, is pregnant. You should not, because it is that misconception might make this particular person have more serious problems afterwards. Okay. You see, yeah, yeah.
And maybe just as we wind up,
yeah.
You've talked about some of the misconceptions when it comes to certain foods
It's
which are
true.
actually healthy for a pregnant woman.
It's true.
Just to emphasize,
Yeah.
the lack of proper diet.
Yes.
And now this is for the pregnant woman, because we've already heard about the development, how it affects the child.
It is true.
You could talk to us about issues of anemia,
Okay,
and
yeah.
many others that affects the mother.
The mother,
you know,
yeah.
during pregnancy
Yes.
as a result of
Yes.
poor diet.
Yes. Yeah. Let me just start maybe with the issue of anemia. Anemia, as you know, it is lack of enough iron. And you know, iron is a very important component in the formation of blood. Heme combined with iron forms now the hemoglobin, which transports food to the child, transport all the toxins out of the child to take it out. It transports oxygen. So if the mother is lacking this particular vital nutrient in the blood, it means that the blood is becoming low. So the performance will be below threshold. So the child won't be getting enough oxygen. The child won't be getting enough nutrients, you see. So that's a problem. And this thing of when someone, there's this misconception like when you're pregnant, it's like a must for you to be fainting. That's not the way things should be. In fact, you faint so that you can make the body to lie down in a flat way, so that the blood can reach to the brain. Yeah, because lying down makes it easier for the blood to flow to the brain. Which, if you could be having enough blood, it could not be a problem. You could just be doing your things in a normal way without any problem. So people should engage in feeding on iron source foods. I've said liver is a good thing, but it's not a everyday thing, because we are saying it's a good thing. Don't overdo it, because you're putting in more and more other things like cholesterol. We don't need cholesterol. We normally we can make our own cholesterol. So just do it sparingly. There are other sources. You can have green leafy vegetables. These particular legumes I'm telling you, kina njahi, these particular green grams, they normally have a high percentage of iron. You see.
What's the place of fruits?
Fruits are in vitamins. Yeah, in place of vitamins. You can as well get it from there. And I normally emphasize on fruits which are colored. The more a fruit is colored, the more it has vitamin A, you see. So, and the more it has more nutrients. Red, melon, yellow, pawpaw, and mango, those fruits are very good, are good sources of vitamin B12, vitamin A, which are also important in someone's, in that period of gestation. Yeah.
Thank you so much, Mama Stones,
Yes.
for again gracing our studios.
Yes.
And giving us that elaborate discussion.
Yes.
On the importance of healthy eating.
Yes.
Pre and during pregnancy.
Yes.
And definitely this is something that somebody needs to carry through after
no
pregnancy, because the child is still growing, so they need to eat healthy and all that. So maybe just take about some few seconds. That is your camera.
Yeah.
What message do you have for those who are planning
Yes.
and those who are already expectant,
Yes.
and as far as their diet is concerned?
What I can say is, I'm not. I'm against obesity, and I'm not against the particular cohort which is in that particular way. But I can advise cutting on your weight. It doesn't mean that when you're big, you're obese. Sometimes you can be having lean meat is what I emphasize. There is fat reduction and there is weight reduction.
Okay.
People don't get it well. You can be too big, your BMI can be saying that you are even overweight, but your lean mass is what determines.
Yes.
If you're having a good lean mass, you're lean enough and you're big that way, that's okay. But the fat issue is where the problem comes in.
Okay.
Because it brings a lot of other underlying issues which we should not have. Just try to gain more
to have
muscles.
a healthy weight if you're planning to be pregnant, and obviously maintaining a good weight when you're expectant.
Yes.
So thank you so much,
Yes.
and also thank you to you back
Yes.
at home
Yes.
for taking the time to be with us.
Yes.
I hope that this program added some value to you in as far as nutrition and pregnancy is concerned, how it is important for the mother and even for the child, and definitely for the growth of the unborn baby. So thank you so much for taking the time to be with us. If you've missed any part of this program, remember you can always go to a YouTube and you'll be able to access that program in full. So until next time, I do wish you a great viewing, and we'll be able to see you next time. I'm Marie Yambo.